Hi everyone, it's Shannon, back with another card making video. Today's episode is extra special because I've got something cool to share. My amazing friend Shawn has sent me several sets of stencils she designed using her Cricut. You might already know Shawn, she's a total pro when it comes to Cricut design space. She's been teaching and inspiring crafters through her website, YouTube channel, and crafty summits online. Trust me, you'll want to check out her video on techniques to create stencils with your Cricut, as well as her website and YouTube channel, all linked in the description box below. But wait, there's more. I'm hosting an awesome game right here in this video. Listen carefully for secret words that I will mention throughout. Watch till the end to collect them all, then head to the contest entry form, also located in the description box below. Fill it out with the secret words and you could win a fabulous prize. The game runs from Wednesday, July 31st through Monday, August 5th. The lucky winner will be drawn on Tuesday, August 6th. If the winner resides in the US, they will score a fantastic card kit from Crafter's Companion. If the winner resides outside the US, they will snag a digital stamp set from Last Minute Manda. Also, don't miss out on the Card Maker Success Summit starting Wednesday, August 8th. Have you grabbed your free ticket yet? A link to register for the summit and everything you need to create today's cards are located in the description box below. Alright, let's dive in and get crafty. Okay, I first wanted to start out by showing you what I use to when after I clean my stencils in the sink. I usually use, if I'm using just dye ink, I'll just run warm water over them and the ink washes away by itself. What I do with the stencils after I clean them is I use, this is kind of a little bit of a hack. This is like a silicone exfoliator thingamabobber, and it came in a 3-pack, and right now I think they're on sale for like $7.99 or something like that for a 3-pack. And what I do is after I wash my stencils, I just line them up in here and let them air dry. Sometimes I have to have something propped up against them. These are made of acetate and not the usual mylar that stencils are made from, so they're a little bit more flimsy. But what I do is I just, after I rinse them off, I put them in between the little knobbies and they air dry this way. Like I said, it was 3 for $7.99. I'll put a link in the description box below. I've seen actual stencil drying products. I think it was like $35 or something like that. That's way out of my price range. So anyways, I just wanted to show you that little nifty hack I have. Okay, let's get started. I have a turntable here with a cutting mat, and I also have my, this is a waffle flower grit mat, oops, and this is a piece of 5.5 by 5.5 inch white cardstock, smooth white cardstock. I use Hammermill. This is 80 pound, and I'll show you the stencils that Shawn has created. Now this is a set of layering stencils. So let's see if you can, there we go. There's several flowers, and each layer has different flowers, and then the final layer has the little centers to the flowers. So we'll be going through this set first. And what she's done in order to allow me to line them up is she's cut out a little square that's notched out of each of the stencils, so I can line up, I ink up that square on my first stencil pass, and then I line up each of the following stencils on that same square. Let me show you one more thing before we get started. Let's see, go this way. Okay, now this doesn't look right. Let's go this way. There we go. Okay, let's see. Too much of a glare. Lift this back up. Here we go. So now you can see most of the flowers on the stencil. So there's several flowers, and I'm going to color the flowers in 3 different colors each. And the way that I determine which flowers are going to be which color is I try to make triangles. So I'm going to start with these 3 large flowers are going to be a light blue color. Then these 3 flowers will be a yellow color, and the final 2 flowers are going to be a darker blue color. So I just wanted to show you that things in 3s work well to draw your eye in. I'm not sure how to explain it any better than that, so that's where my logic comes to determine what color I'm going to color these flowers. And I try to space them out so that they're not the same colors right next to each other. Okay, does this seem a little bit different? Oh, what the heck, let's just give it a go. Okay, The first, oh, and I also wanted to show you these. These are little mini blending brushes, and they come in, they came together as a set, and it looks like mostly neutral colors with an exception of the blue and the green there, and then a rainbow of colors in another set. And these are the blending brushes that I'm going to use today. So I'll get my blue blending brush and set that aside, my dark blue blending brush. Whoops, dropped them. And my yellow blending brush. Set the rest of them aside. Okay, now for the technique. One thing that I've experienced in the past when I'm doing my ink blending with stencils is if you just go and lay down color just heavily over the entire stencil, there is no depth to your images. And even though this is a layering stencil, the images aren't layered with an exception of the centers. So there's nothing to create more depth in the images. So what I do is, first I've inked up my dauber. I'm going to tap it off on my stencil to leave that extra ink. And then I'm going to go first starting at the bottom of these petals, putting down the heaviest layer. And then I'm going to go around the outside on these areas that go in between each of the petals. That's where I'm going to brush my blending brush, so that it'll grab the ink on either side of the petal. So that's where my heaviest ink is going. And I just, I'm really primarily using one side of the blending brush. Then I'll come around the outside border of the petal, putting that heaviest ink on the outside border. Now what that does is that's going to give us some depth. Then I'm going to do that on the remaining petals, going in between each of them. I need a little bit more ink so it grabs it on both sides of the blending brush. Get that heavy ink right on the edges. And I really love this turntable. It's a game changer. This was an idea that I borrowed from artist Percy. Is it Percy? Piercy? Artist Piercy. She has a hyphenated last name and I don't remember the entire thing. But there are not many artists, so in the card making world I think you might know who I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. So there we go with our heaviest ink. And then what I'll do is come in and blend out those heavier line, or that heaviness from the dark shaded with just the residual ink that's on the stencil and on my blending brush. And what that's going to do is going to create a highlight on each of those petals. So you can see that they're the light blue color, but since we have that heavier color on the outside of each of the petals, they have more dimension, more depth. And I think this one I decided was going to be light blue also. I think so. Starting again at the middle, then just inking up my edge. One thing that I did want to do was make sure I didn't get any ink by the other flower that I want a different color, so I'm going to put some post-it tape there. Around the top of the petal, in between. I'm sorry if you can hear me breathing heavy. I have allergies and I'm breathing from my mouth and my camera is right by my face looking down, so you might be hearing me breathe heavy. I'm I'm not actually sick, it's just allergies, so my nose is stuffed up. Okay, heaviest ink all the way around each of those petals. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed this up while I finish this set of stencils, so you can listen to some music while I finish up this set, and then we'll move on to the next stencil. There we go. By the way, I didn't mention, this is tumbled glass. That's our first secret word, tumbled glass, our first secret words. The next color I'm going to use is scattered straw, and after that I will use stormy sky. Not on this particular stencil, on the stencil that I use for the dark blue flowers. So now we're done inking up this panel. I'm going to set this one aside and we're going to work on our next panel. The next secret word is going to be circle. The next stencil I have is layered circles, and this one is one that Shawn goes in depth into how she created this stencil in the video that I'm linking. And I've got, this one is a single stencil. This is not a layered stencil. I'm going to do what I can to center this on my paper. I think I want to have 2 circles at the top, 2 at the bottom, and 1 on each side. Whoops. Let me just scooch you over a little bit this way. There we go. And what I'm going to do is a rainbow of colors, but I'm going to start out, let me clean this up a bit. I'm going to start out with a gray color, and this one I'm going to need some Post-it tape, and I'm going to just cut a little curve into my little mask here. And that should help to mask off the circles that I don't want inked. Oops. Just cut another little arch into my Post-it tape. Just eyeballing it. This one I'm going to put right here. Let's see. Oops. Need you up a little bit higher. I'm going to put it right through the center of that hexagon. Or is that, yeah, hexagon. 6 is hex, right? I think so. And then mask off my circles. I'm going to start out with pumice stone distress ink, and this is a warm gray. And I'm going to use a warm gray with my warm colors of my rainbow and a cool gray with the cool colors. And this is another, I guess, hack, technique, advice that you can do to darken colors. Adding gray before you put down the color of ink that you'd like will deepen and darken the colors that you're using. Just like when you're using Copic markers, using a gray ink before ink blending the color that you'd like will give you a deeper, I'm going to put that across the center there, and I'm just doing the inside, the little fan area. I'm going to leave these colors, or these sections, white, because I want them to be true, but I want this area here to be just a bit darker when I come in with my second color. That's a roundabout way of explaining what I meant. So I'm just starting at the bottom of this portion of the circle and working my way up. But I'm not coming around the entire circle, just darkening these areas here. There we go. And then we'll choose my warm brush colors. The first ink color I'm going to use is Festive Berries, and I'm going to do similar, work similar to what I did in the first stencil. I'm going to, let me explain this. Each circle I'm going to give a different color. My first circle here, I'm going to use a red, but it overlaps with this circle, so I'm going to keep it light here. I'm going to start out dark down here. I'm going to keep it light here also, because when I put my second color in this circle, I want it to overlap and create a secondary color, or tertiary color, depending on where the color falls on the color wheel. So let's start out at the bottom where I want it darkest. Just going over that gray. And my ink pads are really juicy. I just inked them. So I'm going to come around the outside of that top of the circle. And you'll notice how it's not quite as dark as it is where I had that gray put down beforehand. Actually, I need to move my masking paper here so I don't go into my orange area. So darkest around the edges, light in the areas where the circles overlap, and light in my highlight area. I need a larger dark edge here. And it gives a nice highlight, nice dark shade at the where there would be a shadow, I guess, from the overlapping circles is the way I see it. Okay. So that was Festive Berries. The next color is Carved Pumpkin, and our third word will be pumpkin. Oh, I should have wiped that off. I shouldn't have started with red. Live and learn. Live and learn. So I guess my advice would be start out with yellow and work your way around. Because yellow is the one that's probably the easiest to contaminate. So just inking up my brush, and I'm going to tap it off, but I'm going to bring this, while my blending brush is heavily inked, I'm going to go over that dark gray, or that gray area. And then I'm going to go over the red area where the circles overlap and create that orange-red color. Then come around the top, create that dark edge. Light orange in the little wedge that will be overlapped, and then blend the residual ink. I think we need a little more. Ooh, that was heavy. One good thing about distress inks is they do smooth out quite a bit after they dry, and a lot of that will not be as visible. Okay, clean up the orange. I'm going to use some fresh Post-it paper so I don't drag that orange or red into my yellow. Just cutting a little arch. Did not get all of the ink. Oops, well, that didn't work out as planned. Need a deeper arch. There we go. And the next color I'm using is mustard seed. And the fourth word, I think we're on 4, will be mustard. Okay, starting with that heaviest ink. There we go. And since yellow is such a light color, I'm going to go over this full strength onto that orange. Come over across the top with that heavy ink and blend out the edges. Oh, I need to do this wedge. I'm going to speed this up while I go over the rest of these circles and let you listen to some more music. I will show the colors on the screen as I use them. So now we've got all of our colors ink blended. And here comes the reveal. Oops, excuse my reach. Here is our completed panel. Now I'm going to trim these down to A2 size after I clean up this mess. Then we'll get into finishing up the cards. The next secret word, which I believe we're on number 5, is going to be the last ink color that I used. Well, it looks like I forgot to push record while I was finishing off these cards. It's a good thing they're very easy to finish, and I can explain everything that I just explained without actually going through the motions. I've cut down each of the stenciled backgrounds to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and I layered them on. This one I layered this is fog gray cardstock, and this is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and the next mat is snow cone cardstock by My Favorite Things, and that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The butterfly image here that I colored with Copic markers off screen is from a stamp set called Bubbly Butterflies by My Favorite Things. Super cute butterfly images, and you might, I believe the artist of these is the artist and or former owner of Clearly Besotted. I'm pretty sure that's either the same artist or the owner. I recognize her work. Anyways, cute, and that's called Bubbly Butterflies. 6th word is bubbly. B-U-B-B-L-Y. Let me write this down before I forget. And the sentiment strips are from a Better Press set. I don't remember the name of the set right offhand. It's Better Press letterpress system by Spellbinders. I will leave the name in the link in the description box below. And for this one, also a Better Press sentiment. Same thing, the stencil panel I cut down to 3 3/4 by 5, a piece of black cardstock at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and a piece of holographic cardstock at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So those are my 2 cards. I hope you enjoyed the stencil tutorial, and I hope you stop by Shawn's channel and check out the Cricut, how to create the stencils in Design Space for your Cricut. And I think that's it. Don't forget to use the link in the description box below for the contest entry form, and also the link for the free Card Maker Success Summit ticket. Link also in the description box below. Thanks for your time. Sorry this was such a long one. Bye for now.